Greetings.
Hi guys! I've been really enjoying Season 1 with the Druid, and I've been playing this build because I genuinely enjoy how Nature's Fury works so much. And with the endless synergies you can do with the Druid, it leaves room for so much experimenting. This build requires some legendary aspects and requires no unique.
Impressive.
Also, I'm by no means a pro at Diablo, just someone that genuinely enjoys the game and loving this build so much. I still think there's a lot of tweaking to be done, and I'm hoping to get the Greatstaff of the Crone, and once I do, I'm gonna change the build a bit more. Nonetheless, I'm really enjoying the gameplay of this and having a ton of fun. I think it's also good for leveling, however, I might need to make some changes to push for the higher tier nightmare dungeons and complete capstone as well. So let's get into it. A few moments after I decided to make this guide video, I actually got the Greatstaff. But yeah, let's just continue with the guide. So for a helmet, I actually got lightning resist over here, which is not bad for some dungeons and mobs. However, I should be looking for these stats instead, which is cooldown reduction, armor, health, and life on kill. I went for ranks in Poison Creeper over here because it's not bad for the leveling. However, yes, it does more damage, but it does not provide more cooldown. To push for harder content and to get more sustain, I figured that HP and life on kill would be better here instead. And for the aspect, we're gonna go for the symbiotic aspect here as well. Although once I get the Greatstaff of the Crone, I plan to do another build and to put this on my Amulet instead, but for now this should do. So I'm actually really so happy to have gotten this chest piece. I actually max rolled on my damage reduction and my total armor over here. It's really important to focus on making our Druid a giga tanky bad boy, so sustainability and tankiness in our stats for this should be our priority. It would be to get 3 damage reduction from close, from distant, from enemies that are poisoned, and armor. Sadly, I got barrier gen on my chest piece, which is alright I suppose, but I haven't been able to farm for a better one as of now. And I really like having the aspect of the might here for more survivability as well. For our gloves, the most important is to get ranks of landslide, as that is our main source of Giga Chat damage. Followed by lucky hit, because this gives us more chances to reset and proc our poison creeper again because of the pack leader in our spirit boon. Thereafter, getting crit strike damage and critical strike damage with earth skill is really nice to have, and I went with the aspect of retaliation on my gloves. The stats priority of our pants is the same as our chest piece, and I might have gotten the perfect pants so far. I decided to keep the HP instead of rerolling for armor, and I got the aspect of disobedience over here. Now moving on to a girl's best friend, shoes. I really max rolled here again with the movement speed and spirit cost reduction. I think instead of having willpower, it'll be nice to have another damage reduction stat. However, rerolling for me at this point costs a few million, so I don't think it's worth, and I'm sticking to this for now. I went for the ballistic aspect and it feels good so far. You can also go for ghost walk as well. For our weapon, now this is the fun part. Important stats to look out for is definitely vulnerable damage, critical strike damage, core skill damage, and willpower or crit strike damage with earth skills. Here is where I'm still farming for Greatstaff of the Crone, and this build is amazing without any unique so far. However, once I'm able to get the Crone, I'll have to pump more into my Bulwark instead of Poison Creeper, which I'll explain later. So Greatstaff actually allows us to bring out the best in Nature's Fury and the symbiotic aspect, which I plan to put in my Amulet. This lets us constantly proc this. Because Claw is now a Storm skill and will constantly proc Storm Strike, this is gonna make it feel like our build has 0 CD on our Trample and our Bulwark, etc. like a true avatar, enjoying the best of both worlds here. For example, once you bam with the Crone stuff with Claw, our earth skills, i.e. Trample and Bulwark, gets its cooldown reduced, and it's gonna feel like we're playing the piano at this point, which is gonna make the build feel so much more fun. For now, because I don't have the Greatstaff equipped, I'm using aspect of the Trampled Earth, which I'll probably put in my ring once I get the Greatstaff. Moving on to our Amulet, ranks of Envenom, cooldown reduction, spirit cost reduction, and armor. Envenom is so important because it gives us a multiplied damage increase to poison enemies, and CD makes us feel like we're playing the piano even faster, which makes this build feel so amazing. And of course, it'll be great to have another survivability stat for more tankiness. I decided to put the Crash Stone aspect here since we're constantly CCing enemies as well, and then there's more critical damage because of the Amulet multiplier. I have Devious Heart here because I have nothing better at the moment, but I'll love to have Brutal Heart, which increases our survivability by a ton and somehow lets us have fire damage. Avatar vibes for sure. For our rings, vulnerable damage, lucky hit chance, crit strike chance, and critical strike damage are my go-to. However, I've learned that we can be flexible to what we feel is best for us, since for me good rings and amulets are pretty hard to come by, so this isn't best in slot at the moment. The heart that is a must-have is the Devious Heart Inexorable Force, because this allows us to have more CC and pulls in enemies while we have our ulti up to combo with our Poison Creeper and Landslide proc with the Subterranean aspect, which is super cool. Also, having the Aftershock aspect here is what makes our Landslide Pillar strike a second time, so it's a real Landslide fest at this point because Poison Creeper and Trample will proc double Landslides now. The other heart that I'm looking for is the Barber, which lets us deal more burst damage as we CC. Alright guys, so moving on to our Spirit Boons, we're going to be rocking Wariness, Aven Wrath for 30% crit strike damage, which is hard to pass on, it's so good, and Calamity, which extends the duration of our ultimate. This enables us to have a longer ulti time, hence having more chances to pull in more enemies over a longer period of time from our Devious Heart Inexorable Force. We'll be taking Pack Leader as well. As I mentioned before, this is what enables us to reset the cooldown of our Poison Creeper. Hence, lucky hit chance is important for us to proc this, giving us more CC and thereafter more damage and thereafter proccing more Landslide because of our Subterranean aspect. We're also going to be taking Calm Before the Storm as it helps reduce the CD of our ultimate, which is kinda long, and I feel that this fits best so far. Alright guys, so I'll be going through my skill tree. I added 1 point in Storm Strike and thereafter Enhanced Storm Strike. I didn't go for Fierce Storm Strike in the end, later I'll show you why. And then I took Heart of the Wild, which increases our maximum spirit, and Wild Impulses. And I'll be putting in all my points over here into Landslide with an item contribution of 4, going for Enhanced, and then after Primal Landslide. I added in 1 point of Bulwark here. I took Enhanced Earthen and Preserving Earthen. I also took Ancestral Fortitude, as well as 3 points in Vigilance, which helps us with our tankiness. Over here I maxed out on Poison Creeper. I took Enhanced Poison Creeper, as well as Ferocious Poison Creeper. Once I put in Greatstaff of the Crone, I'll actually put in more points into Earthen Bulwark so that I can be tankier and push higher tiers of Nightmare Dungeons, as well as adding in more into my Claw. I'm not very sure, I still need to brainstorm a little bit about this, but I'll let you guys know if you guys want, so do let me know in the comments. I did 1 point in Trample, Enhanced Trample, and Savage Trample for our Spirit. And this is a must-have, which is 1 point in Neurotoxin, which helps lead us to Envenom. So with the extra Envenom ranks, it gives us a 60% multiplicative damage increase against poison enemies, which is insane. Over here I added Crushing Earth, Safeguard, as well as Stone Guard. This whole trinity enables us to deal extra earth skill damage to enemies that are CC, and as well as when we are fortified, it also increases our earth skill damage, and critical strike damage, which is a guarantee from our Landslide, also fortifies us. So this is like fortify to increase critical damage, to increase earth skill damage, and increase fortification. So it's like a very beautiful synergy over here. Right now, we're going to be adding the Defiance, 1 point in Defiance to just lead us into 3 points of Natural Disaster and 3 points in Resonance. So Resonance really helps a lot in increasing our overall damage as well, because this bonus is triple if an Earth skill is the next skill cast after a Storm skill, or a Storm skill is the next skill cast after an Earth skill, which is super crazy. So once we equip the Greatstaff of the Chrome, there will be constant Storm skill proccing to Earth skill proccing to Storm skill to Earth to Storm to Earth to Storm to Earth, so it's really insane. It's a beautiful synergy. We're going to be adding the ulti here, which is Cataclysm, and then Prime Cataclysm and Supreme Cataclysm. However, I might end up using Petrify in the future, I'm not really sure yet. I think this is really flexible. The reason why I went for Cataclysm is because the overall duration for Cataclysm is longer than Petrify. However, if you cast Petrify, you might cast Cataclysm as well. I added a casual 1 rank point in Shapeshifting skill because I'm still thinking if this is worth it or not. I actually only just used this because we only have 1 Shapeshifting skill, which is actually Trample at the moment. However, when we get Greatstaff of the Chrome equipped, it will allow us to constantly become a werewolf, so I guess this is where this quick shift will come in handy. For my key passive, I decided to go for Nature's Fury because this is my favorite. So yeah, casting an Earth skill has a 30% chance to trigger free Storm skill of the same category, vice versa. So like I mentioned before, if you guys don't know how it works, basically when we cast Landslide, we have a chance to cast Lightning Storm and Tornado as well. Whenever I use Trample, you can trigger Hurricane to proc, which is really cool. And also, with our Subterranean aspect, it allows Poison Creeper to cast Landslide. And after Landslide is cast, you have a chance to cast Lightning Storm or Tornado. So it's a huge synergy all around. Moving on to my Paragon board, I actually have no idea about this. I actually really need more time to work on this Paragon board. But for the moment, This is what my Paragon Board looks like. I'm actually using the exploit glyph right now, which is super good. So basically when an enemy is damaged by you, they become vulnerable for 3 seconds, and this cannot happen for more than once every 20 seconds per enemy. So right now this is the highest that I can get, which is 29.7% increase in vulnerable damage, which is really nice to have. Also, I'm running this board over here, which is heightened malice. So while there are 3 or more poison enemies nearby, you deal 45% increased damage. And then I also casually took this poison resist as well as maximum life rare note. I moved over here towards the right, and I actually went to take this crushing earth note as well as putting in my spirit glyph over here. So this allows me to increase my critical strike damage to 43.6%, and I went up and took the earthen power, so increased crit strike as well as earthen devastation, so my earth skills now deal 30% increased damage to crowd control enemies. Afterwards I moved up and I took this sinking fangs, and I also put in territorial, which gives me an increased damage to close enemies. And I'm thinking of working up all the way here to this, but I'm not very sure. If you guys have any recommendations for Paragon boards or any tips, you guys can let me know, because I'm still taking a while to figure this out. Thank you so much for watching my first Diablo 4 build guide. I hope it was somehow helpful and you guys enjoyed it, because I really enjoyed this build and I wanted to just share it with you guys. I didn't really go into specifics because I'm still exploring and figuring things out. If you guys have any tips, please feel free to let me know. I'm actually gonna go off now and continue to grind because I haven't had the time to play it yet. If you guys want more videos like this, please like this video and let me know in the comments. In the meantime, you can drop by my live stream at twitch.tv/bings. See ya!
Goodbye.